Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So, today, first I'm going to start announcing in every video, guys, that the podcast is coming. I'm bringing my own podcast soon. I'm hoping this week sometime.
You on West Money Vista Avenue for 4 miles.
I will let you know for sure as we get closer, but the podcast is coming. So, today's What's Next is going to be on former 2-division world champion Luis Nery, coming off his tough, I believe it was 7th or 8th round knockout loss to Brandon Figueroa as they attempted to unify the WBC and WBA regular 122-pound championship at Super Bantamweight. So, Nery, nothing to hang his head about. I predicted that Figueroa was just the naturally bigger man. And Nery, this was only his second fight at 122, and he was taking on a dude that Figueroa is going to end up being a featherweight, and I think a super featherweight that has power, He's a big guy at 122. I think he's going to be a solid-sized guy at 126, and he might even be a pretty decent size and good fighter at 130, And I just thought eventually his punches were going to overwhelm Nery, and that's exactly what happened. He overwhelmed him with his power shots. What's funny is Nery was landing the shorter, crisper, harder shots while he was sticking and moving and stuff, but Figueroa was landing hard shots, looping shots, and just a lot of shots. They weren't the more effective ones, but they ended up wearing down the Nery because Nery kept having to move, and Figueroa kept coming after him and landing. But it was a close fight heading into that round, and he just caught him with a picture-perfect body punch that really hurt Nery bad, and Nery couldn't recover after being just beat up. But, he was giving a great account of himself. But the big question now is what's next for Luis Nery? Well, I'm not sure I'm in the club that, 100% in the club that Nery should move back down in weight, because he is a talented fighter. So 118 though, bantamweight, regular bantamweight, where he won a title before, is a stacked division. It really is. It's a good division that I think Nery, if he can make the weight, he'd be a successful fighter there. He could get into some really big fights and good fights there. But if he decides to stay at 122, I think he can be effective there too, Maybe this was too soon of a fight against, and maybe he just fought the wrong guy, the naturally bigger Figueroa. He took his chance, suffered his first loss. So now, what's next for Luis Nery? So we're going to run through the top 10 and see what his options could be. 1 second. Number 1 is unified champion Murajan Akhmadaliev. Not going to happen. Akhmadaliev, I don't think Nery would want the fight anyway. It's a cross-promotional fight with DAZN and Eddie Hearn, I believe, and the PBC for Nery, and I don't see them coming together. Plus, Akhmadaliev has a mandatory defense against Ronnie Rios next, so not going to happen. Number 2 is a rematch with undefeated Brandon Figueroa. Figueroa's lined up to fight Stephen Fulton, and to be honest, he knocked him out, left no doubt. There would be no reason for a rematch, and I don't think Nery would want it anyways right now. Number 3 is Daniel Roman. If Nery really believes in himself that he can be a successful super bantamweight at 122, I wouldn't completely rule this one out. Now, I don't think it's going to happen, but I wouldn't completely rule this fight out either. It's an interesting showdown right here. Roman's not a big puncher like Figueroa is. He's more of a wear-you-down boxer puncher. So this would be a very good matchup. But does Nery want to come back against the quality of fighter that Roman is in his next fight? I'm leaning towards the no, but because they're both PBC and Roman doesn't look like he has a big name opponent anyways, I'm not going to completely rule it out and say it won't happen. So we'll see. Number 4 is Azat Havanassian. No way. He fights for Golden Boy. That's, first off, the promotions will not get together for the fight, and Havanassian's way too dangerous for Nery. I don't see it at all. Number 5 is, I believe I upgraded Stephen Fulton Jr. to number 5, the undefeated WBO champion. Wouldn't completely, well, Fulton is fighting Brandon Figueroa supposedly, and if he doesn't, I think he's going to fight Michael Conlan. Luis Nery is out of the sweepstakes for a title. Plus, I don't think he'd want that fight next anyway, so no way. Number 6 is, I'm drawing a blank. I believe it's Ronnie Rios, former world title challenger. Not going to happen. Rios is a mandatory, fighting Murajan Akhmadaliev next, so not going to happen. Number 7 is the undefeated Michael Conlan. Well, outside of the fact that the promotions wouldn't come together for this fight, top rank in the PBC, highly doubt that. Conlan's in line to fight for a title already, and I don't know if Nery would want to face a guy like him anyways, but I don't think the promotions come together regardless, so I don't see it. Number 8 is, I believe, God, I'm drawing a blank. I think I'm off one fighter here. Or no, I had Nery. Nery's right around that area. Nery would be number 8. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm drawing a blank on my top 10 because they moved around a lot. Number 9 is Ionut Baluta. Too risky of a fight for Nery, in my opinion, coming off of a loss especially. Excuse me. I don't see it. And then number 10 is Ryosuke Iwasa, the former IBF champion. If he really wanted to prove himself, Nery, Iwasa would be a good opponent to take on. They both are coming off of knockout losses. Iwasa got stopped against Akhmadaliev for the unified title. Prematurely, though. That was a very early stoppage. A lot of people didn't agree. Most people feel, myself included, that Akhmadaliev was on his way to a victory anyways, but it got stopped in the 5th round of a competitive fight, so we really don't know, for sure. So, and Iwasa has worked with the PBC before. So, that's a top 10. So, for Luis Nery, I think if he wants to, the only top 10 options that I think are realistic would be Daniel Roman and Ryosuke Iwasa, because Roman's with the PBC and Iwasa has worked with the PBC in the recent past. Now, the big question is, would Nery want to come back against guys like that? That's what I'm unsure of. He might want to. He was very much in that fight with Figueroa, very much in that fight. He was dealing. He was fighting hard. Tough loss for him. But would he want to bounce back against a top 10 guy? If he does, I think Roman and Iwasa are great options. If they both want those fights. I think Roman would be down for it if he doesn't have anything else going on. Not sure about Iwasa, but I wouldn't completely rule it out. But Nery's got to want the fight, and I'm leaning towards his first fight back. If he fights at all the rest of the year, he might want to just take a tune-up bout, get a win, shake off that loss, by going in against a guy who he completely is overmatched against. So that's just me and what I'm thinking. But that's it. That's what's next on the undefeated, not undefeated anymore, the former 2-division world champion, Luis Nery. I hope you guys enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.